why are you still not here? So I've never been to Vietnam before. I just made a decision to come here, and I really love it here. But the good thing is that there are still some rural areas in Hoi An where accommodation is really affordable. For example, I pay less than $300. We live in a villa, I would say massive swimming pool, beautiful, surrounded by lush greenery. Here, it's quite limited in Vietnam. But you can still come back to your corporate job life. Yeah, why wait? The more you realize that you just need to overcome your fears, the better opportunities you can get.
What is the thing you're not doing right now that you know you should be doing?
Making more money. You can't really eat like local food.
It's spicy.
It's super spicy.
How do you make money living abroad?
I work online. Like, I don't work full time. I work only part time.
How many hours a week?
Not that many, like, because.
What would you say if you had to put a number on it for your monthly grocery cost?
Yeah, I would say in dollars, 250.
So $250. And that's of course for yourself and your daughter.
Yeah,
right? So,
for myself and for both of us. Yeah, my name is Irene, or Irina in Russian, because I come from Russia originally. Actually, it's a Greek name, so it's Irini in Greek.
You're living in Vietnam now?
I live in Vietnam now with my 7-year-old daughter. So we've been here for 6 months, and we love it.
Let's talk a little bit about what your days look like here in Hoi An, in Vietnam. Costs for breakfast for yourself, your daughter, lunch, dinner, like literally just walk me through. You get up in the morning, your daily costs just to live and to eat, to drink.
Let's start with breakfast. But the thing is, we don't eat out that much. I know that a lot of people living here, like expats living here, they eat out mostly. We don't. I cook, I would say 95% of our meals, because I try to eat healthily. If you eat out, you never know what kind of oil they use. And I know that in Vietnam and in other countries, Asian countries, they use a lot of margarine. It doesn't align with the healthy diet that I'm trying to stick to.
So are you shopping at like local markets? Are you shopping at like a grocery store?
Both. I do both. I try to do both. I try to find the more organic food if it exists. So I try to find the best for me and my daughter.
Okay, so maybe we should think about it in terms of like a weekly grocery budget.
Say in dollars or...
Yeah, and what you're buying. How many dollars it's costing and what it's getting you.
Okay, so I'm not a vegan or vegetarian. I eat meat. We definitely buy some meat and fish, fresh fish. I know a lady whose husband is a fisherman, so we get like fish directly from the sea. And she always keeps some fish for me.
Do you pay like by the kilo, or like what's the financial rate?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they charging you for a kilo?
Depending on the fish. I paid like normal price, which is $10 or less than $10 per kilo.
Like 250K?
Yeah,
200K?
or 230K.
It's like $8 or $9.
Yeah, but I know that it's super fresh.
Yeah.
And you can taste it. It's just taste the difference. And I don't want to. The only problem is like why I can't go to the market and buy fish. The market, because I have to wake up at 5 in the morning to buy super fresh fish. And no, that I really struggle with that. So I found another solution.
Biggest like cost discrepancy in groceries is buying things available in Vietnam domestically or imported things. Yeah. And so if you go to like a Korean latte mart or a Go or like a big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Often everything there is imported. Like even the same fish you could buy fresh here is going to be imported there.
Yeah, like for example, meat, I buy imported meat from Australia or New Zealand because the quality is higher than the local meat, but it's still affordable. There are some places where you can buy it like affordable, but the only downside for me is that it's frozen.
What are you paying for a kilo of beef?
Like yesterday, I bought some ribeye beef. It was 350K.
$14?
Yeah,
Yeah,
per
$14
kilo.
a kilo. For half kilo, $7. For 250 grams, $3.50.
We buy it Am's Bakery, and their baguette costs like 15K.
Yeah, which is 60 cents US
Yeah,
dollars.
I don't eat banh mi or yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the bread bun.
It's like
Yeah,
the rice flour baguette.
yeah, no, I don't need that.
No, how come?
Because I don't really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks like the flour has been bleached or something.
I mean, it's a bunch of it is literally rice. Before I came to Vietnam, I'd never been here before. I've lived in other countries. I lived in China and I traveled around Asia, but I'd never been to Vietnam even for a day, a minute. And when I was doing my research, I found out that they're a humongous coffee producer and also that there was bread. And I was like, coffee and bread.
Yeah.
I mean,
Off we go.
yeah, that's if you spend any time in China or other, certain other parts of East and South Asia, bread and coffee are not readily available, or they're very
Yeah,
expensive.
very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
So to know, like, okay, they're both there, they're both cheap. I
They're
think
both. I have to go there.
yeah, very appealing. So what would you say if you had to put a number on it for your monthly grocery costs?
Yeah, I would say in dollars, 250.
So $250.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's, of course, for yourself and your daughter,
Yeah,
right? So,
for myself and for both of us.
yeah.
So.
And she's quite tall. I mean, I would count her already as a whole person.
Sometimes she has bigger portions than I do.
I'm sure she can.
Especially she's addicted to pasta.
Uh,
So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she's Italian because she.
Can you access Russian specialty goods or like the things you miss from home? Is there a couple restaurants or cafes?
In Da Nang, yeah.
In Da Nang, there is for sure, yeah.
There are. I think there are at least 4 or 5 Russian restaurants, or some probably sour cream. Sometimes I really crave it. But I found the other day I went to Da Nang. I found Russian sour cream, really fatty, and I love it.
How do you call it though in Russian?
Smetana.
Smetana.
Yeah.
Seen all the Russian restaurants in Da Nang, but I haven't jumped in yet. Nightlife or like after dinner recreation. So maybe if you're a child, it could be like kids cafes, play stuff, any sort of expenses, not food related, to entertainment, to going out.
So my life is quite limited, I would say, as I'm a single mom, because we normally have such busy days. Because here in Hoi An, as well as in Da Nang, there is a huge world school community, and there are so many things to do and so many activities for kids. I mean, the community of world schoolers is really big here. There are so many activities. For example, my daughter does acrobatics, and who the teacher is. The instructor is the performer from Bamboo Circus. Have you heard of
Yes,
Ter Dar, or like a lunar production?
Yeah, of course.
One of the biggest performances in Vietnam.
How did you connect with it here specifically in Vietnam?
We have a WhatsApp group, we have a Facebook group.
But that's kind of beautiful. So essentially you're saying your whole social life, for yourself, for your daughter, coming here as a single mother, and did you know people here before you came? No, and you've been able to build...
The same happened when I came to Sri Lanka. My daughter was 5 years old. First, we moved to Turkey from Russia. My daughter was 9 months old, but my parents were there. They moved with us, so they helped me with her, like care of her. But when she was 5, I made a decision to leave Turkey and just to go to Sri Lanka. And I was like, I didn't know anyone. I had never been to Sri Lanka before, and same as in Vietnam. So I've never been to Vietnam before. I have friends who live in Nha Trang, but that's it. I've heard some good stories. I just made a decision to come here, and I really love it here. The more you realize that you just need to overcome your fears, the better opportunities you can get.
Your social life, your recreational life is free or community-based, cooperative
Yeah.
based. What about, do you have a gym membership or health insurance? Any kind of like monthly fees?
For sports, I play pickleball here. I play badminton. We have a huge group of badminton players in Hoi An. I do acro yoga, so I don't need any gym membership. I do exercise at home.
The big tennis courts by my house in Da Nang were just converted into pickleball
Pickleball.
courts, and now that it's a pickleball court, it's
And now
busy
it's
from
busy.
it's busy
Yeah,
from
it's
8 a.m.
packed.
until 8 p.m. It's absolutely packed. Do you do health insurance? How does that figure into your budget?
So I don't take pills. I've been sober for 3 years so far. Prevent rather than cure. I don't have to see any doctors, but in case of emergency, I have some insurance. But fortunately, I've never had any accident.
Is it like a monthly premium you
Yeah,
pay?
it's a monthly payment, but it's a Russian insurance company.
And how much does it cost for yourself and your daughter?
So around $30 per month.
Well, you just wouldn't
But
see
I've
that.
heard that some foreigners get scammed.
Yes.
And yeah, they get charged a lot more than a local person would.
I had a healthcare incident that was a payback scam where essentially like the hospital is working with the insurance company because like I'm not paying for it, my work is, but like that's still a scam, right? They're still illegally funneling money out. Okay, let's talk about a couple of simple things like electricity, water, your phone bill, your Wi-Fi. Any of those you're paying separate. If they're tied into rent, let's leave rent to the end.
Yeah, the utilities. I only pay for electricity monthly, but I don't use the AC. I don't have a TV. I pay from 500 to K to 600K per month. So which is $20 to $25.
I think that's pretty realistic. If you're in an apartment or a condo, it's going to be around $20, $30, maybe a little bit higher in July and August if there's a real heat wave and you have the air conditioners on. What about your phone, your Wi-Fi?
Phone, I use a package with 1 gigabyte per day, so which is 30 gigabytes per month. So I pay 90K.
90K, so $3 a month.
$3 a month.
When Will Travels came on, he's live streaming YouTube from his phone and has some package that's like 12 or 20 gigabytes a day. And he's actually using it. I think it costs him $10 a month or $12 a month. Great. What about your transportation? And that can either be like local, renting a motorbike, buying a motorbike, or Grab or car services.
I've always been the anti-motorbike person, let's say. But I've lived in Asia for over 3 years, or if Turkey is in Asia, then for over 6 years, 6 or 7. I've been this anti-motorbike person, but then I realized that it will give me a lot of freedom. So when we arrived, I cycled a lot with my daughter. That was pretty hard, obviously, because sometimes we had to cycle for 30 kilometers per day, and that's a lot. I cycled for 2 months, and then I just was sick of it. And I was ready to get a scooter. So I got a 50cc scooter. I ride a scooter.
Is it electric? Is it gas?
No, it's gas or petrol, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I go to Da Nang once a week.
So one of the bonuses of the 50cc is that they're street legal, so there's no licensure issue, and you have to check with your own healthcare or health insurance from home, because in some of them they're just going to be null the second you touch a motorcycle with your finger. You would still be driving legally here as opposed to like 125cc. So what do you pay for that? Do you rent it by the month?
I do. First month I paid 1.3 million. I negotiated, and now the price dropped up to 1.1 million. So which is 45.
1.1 is 44 US dollars, and the 1.3 is 54 US dollars. So that's a good rate for sure. I think in the big cities you can find it even cheaper.
In Da Nang, I was told that you can get it for 1 million.
Rental and motorcycle rentals are one of the best ways to get scammed. The most various and frequent scams, if you're doing it monthly for a few dollars a day and you get essentially a brand new bike. Eddie talked about buying an actual motorcycle, so you can watch the video with him if you're interested in that process, but it's certainly not necessary. Okay, so we're at $44
per month.
and about
And
290. So you're up in the sort of like 330 range, 335.
maybe.
Um,
And then for the petrol, I pay almost nothing.
Yes.
The amount is so little. And 2 weeks ago, we went to Hue on a motorbike, on a scooter.
Yeah. Well, what about the travel? So are you doing weekend trips, travel within the country, travel around Asia? Do you have any travel costs or travel that you do?
I do. So we went to Hue 2 weeks ago. We went there on a on a scooter. I drove.
Yeah? Did you
I
go?
rode, through the Haivan Pass, and I absolutely loved it. And as a person who was an anti-motorbike person, and now that was a really a challenge, I would say. And I had to get out of my comfort zone. I loved the experience. So, and I paid I don't even know, I think around 90K for the petrol.
Yeah, so $2 or $3 for the trip.
$2 or $3.
And what about costs like accommodation, eating food out, etc., for your weekend away? How much did it cost you to take a weekend? So Hue is like the old imperial city, beautiful, very touristy, quite a small town relatively. It's about 2.5, 3 hours up the coast drive from Da Nang in Vietnam.
But it took me 5 hours.
Took you 5 hours. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's a very, very beautiful trip by bike or by train.
It is.
By car, you go through a tunnel that they bombed through the mountains. So by car, it's not that exciting. But if you take a motorbike or a train, it's gorgeous.
I loved it. And we stayed there for, I think, 4 days. Yeah, I had to do my visa run from Hue because there is a direct bus to the Lao border.
Okay, so that's actually a frequent travel cost. So are you paying sort of a couple $100 every 3 months?
I pay around 1 million, 1.2 for both of us.
Oh, it's very affordable.
Yeah.
But it's more frequent than 90 days.
Yeah, it's 45 days
because 45 days.
On
you have a different visa
passport, so you're visa free for 45 days. So, and we don't need a visa to Laos. It reduces the cost.
Wow,
insanely, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a benefit. I mean, formerly USSR and now Russia and Vietnam have always been close allies. So you're on a 45-day entry-free visa exemption. I think there's 12 countries with the visa exemption.
Yeah, but I know that I think Panama and Chile, they can get 90 days visa-free. So Russia has got only 45 days, like Russian citizens.
I have to recalculate. It's not, I incorrectly presumed and assumed that your visa run was costing a couple $100 every 3 months. It's actually costing you $40 every 45 days. So it's $80 every 3 months. So you're talking about a little over $25 a day. Okay, so by my calculation, before we get to rent, you add about $360 total monthly cost for you and your daughter to live here. Mm-hmm. So what do you pay rent?
I pay 6.5 million to
$200 and then 240 plus 500, 265.
265, around 270. And water, Wi-Fi, they are included.
All in, you're living here with your daughter comfortably and well, you would say, for $600 a month?
Around, or maybe 700.
$600 a month is $7,200 US dollars a year, so somewhere in that 7,500 to 8,500 USD. Living here with the child is a dependence. Incredible.
It's really affordable, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really realistic too. I had a thumbnail that said $600 is realistic, and it was like a quote that someone said, and I had to change it and take it down because people just shit on it. They don't think it's real, right?
So they don't think
you have to just say $1,000. If you say less than $1,000, it's just
not
like
realistic.
It's a pile on. People refuse to believe. You're full of shit. You can't do that anymore. It's not nice. I come out and talk to people, and again and again, people do go through their quotidian day to day of what's it costing to live. I mean, my family, we're a family of 4. We spend under $2,000, and we sometimes have a 5th adult dependent in the house for family reasons. But I don't want to say easy. Life's never necessarily easy, but it's very realistic for us to sit on a $50 million a month budget for a family of 4 or 5.
Yeah,
And we're spending significantly more money than most of our Vietnamese neighbors, is what I would say to that, right? So, in a very real way, right? Like, we're on the block we live on, we're spending way more money than the people who are living in the houses on either side of us.
Yeah, I know that, for example, in Korea, you can still find a house for 4 million dong.
Yeah, which is like $160.
Yeah, a house, a two-bedroom house. Now in Hoi An, the prices have gone up so insanely, and now it's just, I would say, you can get a house for maybe 600. The cheapest up to 2,000.
This is an area not just for people living abroad, but for tourists, right? So there's a lot
it's
of
quite
a lot of the property here
touristy.
gets pushed up for short-term stay.
Yeah, but the good thing is that there are still some rural areas in Hoi An where accommodation is really affordable. For example, I pay less than $300. Yeah, like around $300 per month. We live in a villa with this, I would say, massive swimming pool. It's really long, beautiful, surrounded by lush greenery.
I'm going to edit this, so it's you saying we live in a villa surrounded with a massive pool and lush greenery,
Yeah.
and then it's going to cut, and you're going to say,
I mean, we share it with the owner, yeah,
yes, okay.
which is also really convenient because they live downstairs. So if anything happens, if I have a question or any emergency occurs, so they're always there,
So
and
like,
it's really safe.
you're living in a flat?
Yeah,
in a
I
flat
live
above?
in a flat, in an apartment.
I mean, and we'll talk a little bit about safety more, but I think Vietnam could still be one of the safest places in the world for solo travelers, men or women, but yeah. How do you make money living abroad?
I work online, so I'm a tutor, and that's my main income. Like, I don't work full time. I work only part time.
How many hours a week?
Not that many, like because around 15. Because I cannot do that due to the fact that I'm a single mom. I cannot work full time. That is the reason why we are here. Like, I can still afford living comfortably and not working like long hours, and living a dream life because it is. For some people, they can't even dream of that because they need to think outside of the box just to be able to move to another country and be quite adventurous, probably, and really brave.
You know, you can't be too risk averse. You can't be too afraid to sort of take the first step. But I think definitely with these interviews, talking to people, part of the idea is to just only
to smash
so much
the stereotype.
Yeah, and there's only so much I can say when it's just my story, right? It's just one person, me saying, well, I do this, I do that, and it's real. But I think by trying to bring other people's, other voices, other perspectives, other lives, other budgets, hear about the cost of living abroad for other people, it will hopefully really sort of expand a lot of people's idea of what they could do or how they could change their life.